Thank you very much. The audio forever is an issue with me. But anyway, let's just start back over then. Let's start back over to give you a better understanding of what's going on. So today we're going to talk about the news of the day, and that is this UK tariff deal. Now, before we get that, for those of you who are Catholic, congratulations, you got you a new pope. Happy for you. I saw these people all elated and happy and throwing their hands in the air. I'm happy for you. Big ups to that. But anyway, I'm not. So let's move forward. So I'm no longer muted, I hope. You can hear me. Okay. So as we go through this, we'll start to understand that Donald Trump and Howard Lutnick introduced this UK deal today. Now, it's not really a deal. They're saying it is, but it's not. And because it hasn't been signed, it's something that's always like up in the air. Let me give you a precursor as to why all this is happening. Okay. I'm going to show you as of like April 3rd or something like that, 3 weeks ago or something of that nature, around 3 weeks, a little bit over 3 weeks ago, there was a YouGov poll that came out. And in that YouGov poll, we got this right here. It literally says 75% of Americans think that Trump's tariffs will increase the prices they pay. And most will expect these increase prices a lot rather than a little. Okay. That was in April, around April 3rd, somewhere around there. Okay. So what happened is that when Donald Trump came into office or was running for office, he told his people what tariffs were. And they were money coming into America. It wasn't taxes, even though people would sense all they had to do was look up what is a tariff, and it would have told you a tax on the American people for products outside of the country. If you looked a little bit deeper, when do tariffs actually benefit the American business and the citizen? And that would be if America has a major production of these said products, which we make, therefore throwing a tariff on other countries so that you basically force Americans to buy American products, which increases wealth in America on products, and be highly competitive or shut the other countries out completely on said product. If you had that on, let's say, refrigerators, they'd have to buy here, but on beef, we can go and share fairly in some way, shape, or form. They would have looked that up, but no, not them. They don't look shit up. They listen to the orange clown, and he tells them, and they sat there and said, our stuff isn't going to go up, and they believed him. Well, shit started to go up. Bacon didn't go down, eggs didn't go down, gas didn't go down for the manufacturers, but not for the consumer, right? See, they don't understand. Donald Trump doesn't speak the language of the average person. He's speaking the language of the billionaire. I want you to make a visual of America, okay? Here's a visual I'm going to put in your mind real quick. Let's think of a piece of pie, like a pie. This is the American pie. All of this is America. We buy a lot of shit, okay? We buy a lot of shit. Let's be honest, right? We're the biggest purchasers all around the world. We buy a lot of shit. This is America. Donald Trump and other countries, they are vying for our buying, okay? So Donald Trump and other countries, let's say UK, right? Donald Trump is saying, I'm not a part of this group. I'm American, but I'm not American. I'm not a part of American buyers. No, that's not me. They're down here. I'm up here. So if you want to get to my people and take their money, then you have to pay, they have to pay a tariff in order for that to come. Otherwise, I want them to buy it from me. So me and my billionaires get richer and richer and richer off this pot of people who just buy shit. Then they tell these people, we're doing it for you. But then when you tell them, yo, what you're doing is hurting me, don't worry about that part. Don't worry about that part. It ain't hurting me. It ain't hurting me at all. It's hurting you. You'll deal with that until we figure this shit out. Let the grown folk make a decision while you people here shut the fuck up. And so the grown folks in their mind are sitting here making decisions for us, the purchasing power. So he's negotiating with our buying power, but leaving us out of the equation and basically saying, fuck you while I make this deal. Now, you would think these deals are going to come out at the end and benefit the pot in which it's buying from. But no, it's negotiating how much are we going to take from them versus how much they going to take from us. I don't want you taking so much from my people. Our rich people need their buying power. So we're going to shut you off and charge them an arm and a leg for shit they can get from you for just a pinky. So we're going to rob these people whom we call Americans. That's who we call them. But in reality, we just call them poor pieces of shit that we're going to rob. Yet, though, under the moniker American patriotism. That's what they're doing. That's their decision making. You're not a part of this American pie he's talking about. You're this pie that's buying. They don't give a fuck about your business, whether it survives or dies. Because you got to come to them, the billionaire class, to get anything done. They're up here negotiating with the other people in other countries, the billionaires, saying, hey, you want a piece of these people? We'll give it to you. We may not give it to you. And these people down here are trying to move up from poor to middle class to the American dream. And they're making it harder on us to do so in the name of saying they're Americans who are trying to get better deals from other countries. I call bullshit. And I'm going to explain it to you. 75% of Americans now believe that it's going to increase the prices. That was on April 3rd or something like that. And that was a YouGov poll. Around April 23rd, 25th, somewhere in there was another poll from CBS. That number had moved from 75 to 90% of Americans believe that these prices are going to increase. What happens when just a couple weeks goes by and you go from 75% to 90%? That's called a freak out. They're freaking out right now because they have no deal. And their deal of telling everybody, oh, everybody's going to kiss our ass. Nobody's kissing their ass. Nobody. That's what Donald Trump said at that little press or whatever it was some fundraiser or another. So they're kissing my ass. And we're like, wow, that's how you speak to people you haven't made a deal with yet, that are just calling you to have a deal? You're saying they're kissing your ass. So then what happened? These people with common sense ran so far away from Trump, stopped speaking to him. The ones who have this still ideal of supremacy in their own countries are the ones that have been speaking to him somewhat. But as far as their country goes, they're not trying to sell their country down the river for some orange clown. So when those numbers went up, Donald Trump has been begging these two fools, Scott Bessent and Howard Lutnick, to come up with a deal, because he don't care about us, but the people who empower him. It has moved from them thinking things aren't going to go up to I'm losing my farm, I'm about to lose my business. This shit is really affecting us. I thought Trump was telling me the truth. So they're starting to see the luster come off the piece of crap we've been telling them this whole time they thought was chocolate. So it's starting to come off. And he's like, wait a minute, I got to do something. So he went to some place where we have a surplus by the billions in the trade. His whole thing was we had a deficit. Therefore, we need them to buy more from us. We already sell them more than they sell us. So you went after the UK? What about China? What about Japan? What about all these other countries? Korea? Oh, the ones where you've been throwing all kind of crazy tariffs on. Of course, China 145, which they're going to be meeting somewhere in Switzerland sometime soon. I guess this weekend, whatever. But the reality is, this was a desperate move to get people to think they're actually doing something. We're going to listen to Howard Lutnick. It's long, I'm sorry, but I like to give context. explain this deal to you guys. And I'm going to come back after that, maybe in between while he's talking, to kind of like break stuff down, because they lie their butt off, or they try to, again, make something shine when it's dull. Okay? So let's go ahead and listen to Howard Lutnick give you his 2 cents. I call it a penny, because it ain't even, it ain't even that. It's like one of those coins, worthless, but they try to make it seem like it's worth something. But let's listen to what Howard Lutnick had to say today. Take it back.
UK is the 6th largest economy in the world and the 4th largest that we export to, right? So it's a huge market, a top 10 market. If you remember Liberation Day, they were at 10% because we have balanced trade with the UK, right? They say they have a surplus, but of course that counts gold bullion, which is, so let's just call it balanced trade.
It's not a balanced trade. Not at all. Let's call it that. It's a surplus, but let's get it.
So how do you open up a market in balanced trade? People think it's impossible. They've always thought it was impossible until President Trump came on the scene and changed the way things work. So here's what we've got. We've opened up new market access, ethanol, beef, machinery, all the agricultural products. They've agreed to open their markets, and that will add $5 billion of opportunity to American exporters. So the question is, why would they do that now? Because they've never done it before. And we still have our 10% tariff on, which will produce $6 billion of revenue for the United States. So the idea was, how do they keep their jobs, protect their economy, and do the best for their people while opening the market for us? And the way is they studied it, their team was exceptional, and they tried to figure out the markets that they're importing from other people.
Mind you, let me give you this. Let me give you some backdrop on this. The UK and America have been trying to work on this like deal for years. So he's making it seem like, 45 days ago, they just came up with this whole plan and started thinking it through. And oh my God, we came up with something with the help of Trump. It's just been going on for years. This is nothing new. What they've done, and when you'll find out, is really capitulate to what UK has been wanting the entire fucking time. It's giving them what they actually want. And you'll see in a hot second when we go into the details.
And try to send them over to America. So why were they always favoring others and not us? And what they've done is they've found the ways to do that so that we have new access, right? But the UK workers are protected. And that was the balance. So we did a deal with them in automobiles. And if you're not building here, we charge you a 25% tariff. But the president, and by the way, I want to make this clear, while Jameson and I worked hard, this was the president's deal. And people think, oh, that's not the way it works. If you got to sit next to him, I have the best deal maker to my left. And if you don't think that we take advantage of him calling the prime minister and getting that deal done, you don't understand who's the president of the United States. So he's the closer. He gets deals done that we could never get done because he understands business, he understands deals, and that's why we're here today. So he agreed they could send 100,000 cars into America and only pay a 10% tariff. And that protects their car industry. And remember, we do 16 million cars a year. So this is only like 0.6%. But for the UK auto people, this is tens of thousands of jobs that the president agreed that he would protect for them. So he made that deal, right? Then steel and aluminum, right? Their steel business has been destroyed like everybody else has been destroyed by people dumping steel into their markets. And British Steel had announced it was closing down. So the British government, as part of this deal, nationalized British Steel, and they're going to match the kinds of models we do. They'll put tariffs on, they'll put quotas on. They want to do it with America so they can be part of the resurgence of steel and aluminum in America, and that saves them, again, thousands and thousands of jobs. So if you go step by step, aero and commercial planes, they sell Rolls-Royce engines to Boeing. We've agreed to let Rolls-Royce engines and those kind of plane parts to come over tariff-free. And what you're going to hear today is there's going to be an announcement in the UK that they are buying $10 billion worth of Boeing planes later today. But I'm going to let the name of the airline announce it because that's theirs to do it. Part of this deal was always to do it together and to do it strong. And you can see the numbers on this board. Everything about this board works exceptionally well for the United States of America. It lays out the plan that you can work with us in autos, you can work with us with aero and commercial, you can work with us in pharmaceuticals if you have a supply chain that is secure and protected in national security. So we feel really good about the deal. You've heard the Prime Minister, he feels really good about the deal, right? And we started at 10% and we ended at 10%, and the market for America is better, and this is a perfect example of why Donald Trump produced Liberation Day. People don't understand. He gets things done in a matter of time. This would have taken Jameson and I 3 years, maybe. And instead, we got it done in 45 days, certainly, because we work for Donald Trump.
All right. There's a lot to cover in that. I wanted to have him play it out. I didn't want to keep listening to him forever. Let's start off with tariffs on the from the UK on steel and of that. I think it's steel and aluminum. Okay. Let's go back to presidents. The tariffs on steel and aluminum were 0 for President Obama. Then they went up to 25% with President Trump's first presidency. Then they went back to 0 with President Biden. And then they went back up to 25% under Donald Trump. Howard Lutnick just said, we got a great deal, and now they're going to do what we do and bring it down. But the reality is they just said they're going to take it back to 0, where it was under President Obama, under President Biden. The only time they went up to 25% was under Trump, who brought it back down to what the other presidents were doing. How do you claim a win when you fucked it up to begin with? You're the one that brought it all the way up, and now it's back to 0. But they agreed that they're going to throw tariffs on their... Why do we give a fuck what they're going to do with tariffs on their stuff? They're going to come along with us, and we're going to throw so much tariffs on something, they're going to throw tariffs on something. Who cares? That's how much their people are going to have to pay for it. Their whole thing is they don't want to buy from nobody else. America can do it by itself. So why do we care about UK wood and lumber if you're saying we don't need it? But they told you that they're going to do the same thing as us, is throw tariffs on it, because everybody was trying to push their aluminum and steel on everybody. And when we have a surplus of it already, it makes no fucking sense. Speaking in circles, went from 0 with the other presidents to 25 with Donald Trump, back to 0. Nothing. He did absolutely nothing. Would it took you 2 years to come up with 0 that was already there before? Took him 45 days to figure out 0 was a better number than 25. That's just steel and aluminum. Let's move over to cars, automobiles. Under President Obama, there's a tariff of 2.5%. Under President Biden, 2.5%. Under Trump, it was 10%, and on certain parts, 25%, certain items. So this wonderful idea for UK was, we're going to take our arbitrary 25 and 10% that we threw out of our butts and bring it down to 10% across the board. Now, what did I say that Obama and Biden have for tariffs? You understand? I'm telling you, I'm speaking from the perspective of nobody's paying these tariffs but the American citizen. Okay, these are taxes on us. They were 2.5% tax on us for these vehicles. Okay, under Biden and under Obama. Under Trump, after he worked this wonderful brew of a deal, they're 10%. 4 times higher for the American citizen, and that's a deal. 4 times higher for me and you. And he calls that a deal. So whatever the tariff was on your vehicle that you buy, that comes from, they're talking about parts more so than actual full-on cars, but there are cars too, like the Mini and things of that nature. Those things are going to cost you, as far as the taxes go, 4 times more tariffs to buy. And you think the people who have to pay that 4 times more than they had to pay before is going to eat it? No, they're going to charge you for the vehicle. Same vehicle. If you got a Mini last year, you plan on buying another one next year, the exact same vehicle, just inflation is going to be more, but added on 4 times as much as the tax as it was before. So if your tax was $2,500, your tax is going to be $10,000. Explain to me how the fuck that's a better deal for Americans. So 4 times as much tax on the American citizen, he considered that a win. We've done the steel, aluminum, back to zero, same as Obama, Biden. We've done the automobiles, and that's 4 times higher than Obama or Biden. Now let's deal with just general products that we bring inside this country that you buy, electronics, whatever it may be. If it was coming from UK, we ain't gonna deal with Japan. Let's say you was getting anything like that from the UK, bet you more than likely not. But that's that general, whatever we get from them generally, right? That under Obama and under Biden was zero. Zero, at a max 3. And many of the things, if you kind of get the mean of it, it was around 2.5%. But most of them were zero for those products. You didn't have to pay any tariffs on them. The general products. Because again, we have a surplus with them. We sell them more than we buy from them. So it was zero in certain items up to 3, but on average 2.5%. They just announced it's 10% across the board. So we was paying 0, now we're paying 10%. And for items that were select items, we were paying on average 2.5%. We're now paying 10%. 4 times as much. Minimum. A 10% tax when it was 0 before for other items. How the fuck are we winning? I'm waiting for the win. I haven't heard a win yet. All I heard is American citizens loss, break even, loss. 4-time loser, break even. How the hell did America win in this so-called concept of a deal? Now, what was the UK's ask on this end of the spectrum? Right? Before I get to finish the car part, I missed this part. Okay. We get that 10 times, the 4 times deal, right? On vehicles. That means we got that 10%. That used to be 2.5% under Obama and Biden. It's 10% across the board now. Went down from 27.5% what it used to be. But did you hear Howard Lutnick say 100,000 cars they can bring in here with that 10% tariff, or he said with he said 10% tariff, 100,000 vehicles. What happens on the 100,001 vehicle? That would be, it's back up to 27.5%. So how do you know? How do you know, ladies and gentlemen, when they reach 100,001? Are you just gonna show up to the car dealership and they're gonna be like, shit, that's the 100, was it 100,000 right there? You about to buy the 100,001? You be like, oh, do I get a special gift? No, 27% tax on the vehicle now. Say what? That car went from a 10% tariff to damn near 3 times that much in a day or in a additional sale. And who's to say that when they're going to let you know that it was 100,001? If that vehicle is on the lot for $30,000, it shoots up to almost $40,000. Is it because of that 100,001 tariff, or because of a greedy capitalist? Are you literally going to go try and find out, did you sell the 100,001 car? Or are you just going to see the price rise up and Americans going to have to pay for it? Now, I know most Americans like us be like, fuck that car, I ain't buying it, get that. But the people who want that car and like that car a lot, they're stuck with that, or they got to get their old vehicle, keep their old vehicle until they ride with it until it dies. But that's the deal Trump just came up with Howard Lutnick and produced to the world. And here we are thinking, I don't know what MAGA thinks, but I know for damn sure America just lost. How did you say you made a great deal and you just lost? And I'll tell you why. What did the UK get out of this? We heard our aspect of it. And you heard Howard Lutnick, he was talking about industries which me and you don't own, the American people. Talking about beef and things of that nature, right? Things that we don't sell them personally. Like any average person selling beef and things of that, what they're selling, right? So the UK, they bargained for the UK citizens who were paying 5.1% tariffs on American products. 5.1, not 10%. They're paying 5.1% on American products. Tariff. UK has agreed to lower their tariff to 1.8%. You heard me. So in order to get, because UK has this standard for beef and other things that they don't allow certain things, and a lot of countries are like that. I remember when I used to work for this energy drink company, that's when I learned about it. It couldn't have certain claims on it in the UK and other places, India. It just couldn't have claims on it that it was, energy and all stuff. No, you had to put the exact products in it, and there were certain products that they wouldn't allow their people to drink or even, take because it wasn't healthy, and therefore you had to have a different substance. So you had to mess with your whole chemical makeup to be able to sell it in that country or forego selling it in that country altogether. That happens a lot. Certain countries would not allow certain types of sugar, so you have to put cane sugar in it. Those types of things to be able to sell. So for the billionaire, the big time corporations to sell to UK to open up their market, to these billionaires. They want to sell their beef, which doesn't meet the standard of UK. But what the UK has agreed, okay, we'll take your beef in. But the thing is, the beef they got there is cheaper than our beef. But they'll bring it in and they'll charge their people less, or at least charge the tariff of 1%, 1.8% instead of 5%. Which makes our goods more competitive over there, but it also brings the UK citizens a lower cost for a product that we sell them. On our end, there's no lower cost, baby. Our shit's going up. So we lost. They won. We stuck with this 10% shit. They took it from 5.1 to 1.8. We get hit with a 4 times more tax and they get a tax decrease? We got to pay 10% more on UK cars, but we don't. They open the market up for the UK for over 100,000 cars. They open the market up for them. And we still got to pay 10% when it was 2.5, 4 times more. And then after that, the 101, we damn near got to pay over 10 times more. It was only 2.5%. It's going to shoot up to 27.5, over 10 times as much. So we move from 4 times as much until 100,001, and we move up to over 10 times as much. American citizen has to pay. I'm confused. How we winning? American citizens, how are we winning in this? The UK gets cheaper US goods, and we pay inflated amounts of inflated like tariffs for UK goods. And they presented this like, look what Donald Trump did. He just fucked us. What are you talking about what he did? How did he win? How did we win? Explain to me, how did we win? I'm confused. Like I told you, these people, the billionaires, the Donald Trumps, and all those people, and the politicians even, they think of us as a bargaining chip. We're the people that are buying, but we're not the ones getting the deals. They are amongst themselves saying, we both are going to rob the shit out of you Americans. So, yeah, let's work something out that we can both rob them. But you can rob them the most, but we still want to rob them. And then for the UK, their leaders said, hey, we're going to get y'all a good deal. We're going to move it from 5.1 to 1.8. I know it's beef y'all don't want, but you don't have to buy it, bro. I'm just saying, we got that deal. We need these cars sold. We get thousands of jobs. You notice how he said tens of thousands of jobs for the UK. What has the unions for the cars been saying of today? We're losing jobs. How the hell am I losing it? American jobs get lost. We pay 4 up to 10 times more in taxes called tariffs for the same products we were paying zero tariffs for, zero taxes. The taxes go down in UK, they skyrocket in America, and this fool thinks the money's coming into the government is like money we're getting from the other country when it's money you're robbing your own citizens for. How in the hell is this working? Am I missing something? I mean, am I in a bad dream? Because, I mean, I'd be damned. How the hell do they call that winning? Tariff is a tax on American citizens, and Donald Trump multiplied our taxes by four times by going up to 10%. After that 100,001 going almost 10 or over 10 times, because it's 2.5, it's going to be 27.5, 10%, 10 times would be 25%. It's 2.5% over the 25%. So he kept the 2.5% tax, just added 25 on top of it. That's what he did. I'm just realizing that. The 2.5% that we had with Biden and Obama is still there. This fool added 25% more onto it. This is a bad dream. I'm like, somebody wake me the fuck up because I can't believe it. I don't get that. How? Anyway, I don't understand how that's pro-American. That's pro-UK. You took their tariffs down. For you to sell to them, they open up their market so they can buy something from you that they didn't buy before. They wouldn't accept your beef. Now you open it up. Our beef people will start making money. I'm pretty sure the beef farmers or whatever you call them, I'm sure they're happy as hell. That now they can sell beef into UK. But even a lady in the audience or reporter said, you know, I don't know about that. She was challenging it because it's not a definite just now, it's in the air. She mentioned that the beef in America, there's a reason why the standards don't meet what UK decides their meat should meet. Yeah, that's actually a right way to say that. But so they haven't really agreed on that yet. And trust me, with me doing, exporting like these energy drinks to other countries, even Canada, it wouldn't happen unless we changed the way we produce said item. If the meat wasn't up to par before, they're going to have to change the way they're doing their meat in order to get it into the UK. I don't know where the win came from, yo. I still see a loss. Good night. Is it Robert? If he's already gone. We all do, but it's what Trump's told all the country he wants to tariff that they want happen if Elon can get to run things. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, Robert. I'm lost on that one. I don't see how we won when we lost majorly. We're gonna have to pay 4 times the amount of tariffs. And they're trying to make 10% the norm. That's 4 times higher than it used to be. Under Obama, under Biden. I didn't go any further. I'm pretty sure that's been the number for a long, long time. And that's how companies are actually surviving. That's how a lot of these companies are being able to have the American dream. You guys understand that most jobs in this country or businesses in this country don't pay like they used to. What people are praying and excited about when these corporations supposedly bring back jobs, which they're not, but let's just say they do. It's not going to be the days of old, where mom or grandpa had a job in which he could have one job and it would pay for the rest of the family, and nobody had to work. If they wanted to, they could, to build wealth. That's not going to be the case. These things are going to be automated heavily, and they're going to have very young people working there. It's not going to be that transformational lifestyle thing. Even Howard Lutnick said it, and I keep repeating it. He said that your family is going to have the mother and the father work at the factory, the son and the daughter work at the factory, and on and on. I want you to understand something. And I saw this one lady actually just say it. I don't know who she was. I saw her on one of the social media platforms, and she said it very poignantly. She said, "You're looking at the wrong generation." Okay, this generation now, they don't want to work at a company that literally gives them, a nice place to work at. They don't want to work at all. They want to do social media. They want to hang out with their friends. They ain't trying to work at nobody's factory. So you're trying to bring back something that nobody in our kids' generation even want. Especially if these jobs are not going to be living wage jobs. Who's going to want that? When I can go work for, McDonald's and make the same fee. If I can go work for, be a hotel concierge, in a nice hotel where I can get a discount to stay in the hotel with my friends, whatever. I'm young, I can party there, whatever. I can go work there, make more money, and then get tips and make way more money. And when I get off work, go drive an Uber and make a few grand a month and travel whenever I want. Who the hell in this generation coming up is going to want to get up and clock out, hear whoop, and take their ass to a factory? Ain't no young people thinking about that shit. And they know ain't no young person thinking about that. They're trying to get 13 and 14-year-olds to work like that. But I guarantee you, most 13 and 14-year-olds ain't going to want to do it. You know who they're going to have to find? They're going to have to go to put that stuff in Virginia, where I ain't going to say most of them because I don't know everybody in Virginia, but where they have the coal miners and stuff like that, and the people who are getting black lung still to this day. They will work at that factory because in reality, their lives are less harmful to them. Black lung is not a thing if you can go to a factory and help them build something alongside a computer. But the reality is, are they smart enough to do it? I don't know. Because again, the way they build it, you're going to have a high level education to be able to do the AI and the computer technology and robotics and all that. Those are the people that are going to get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. The ones working on the assembly lines are getting paid minimum wage. And they won't be union. Some of these unions believe it will be. They don't have no signed contract on that. They're going to figure out the numbers before they even build this shit. They're going to realize, we ain't paying nobody $27.50, $39.99, no $50 an hour. Forget all that. We're going to pay somebody $15, what you guys been begging for, $15, and you work 10-hour days with a half-hour break. They've never cared about American workers. They cared about them more in the past, but they don't care about you now. So you really think they're going to bring it back to help you when they're charging you 4 to over 10 times as much for a product through taxes called tariffs? And the UK made a deal for their people to pay 1.8% when they were paying 5.8% or something like 5.1%. Their tariffs decrease. Our tariffs multiply. This is for billionaires to be able to put products into another country so they can try and grow. But not unless me and you become, some beef cattle herders or whatever you call it, we ain't gonna take no part in this whole deal. Do you really think China's stupid enough to make a deal like that? They're gonna end up in this deal. I'm talking about like them doing a deal for themselves. UK won on this one, but China's going. If the UK got Donald Trump and his minions to think that they won when they just got had, ooh, China's going to eat us for dinner, lunch, breakfast, snack. They way smarter than the UK. Hell, the UK can't figure out how to brush their fucking teeth. You gonna talk about the Japanese or the Chinese? Shit, they're gonna wear our asses out. These idiots just sold Americans down the river and said it was a great deal. For whom? Oh, we got to get back to the reality. Donald Trump doesn't think of us and him the same. He's thinking about, look, we're the rich and these dipshit Americans down here, which is us. We're the rich. And here's the other country. We're going to be able to sell more beef and this to the country, and it's going to be cheaper. So we're going to be able to send a lot over there, and we're going to try and take over their market of beef. Once we figure it out, they're going to be buying more beef from us than they're going to be buying from their own country, and we're going to be making millions and billions and trillions of dollars. And how is that going to trickle down to the humans, the piece of shit humans they believe? You do understand that corporations are trying their best to buy out these farmers. So I want to talk to the farmers out here. They got these tariffs kind of high, and you're going to lose. Some of you have already lost your farms. Other ones will lose too. And guess who's going to start buying them? Amazon, yeah. Tyson, beef companies that are major, the distributors, they're going to start buying your farms and kicking you off your property. You have to understand how they're going to maximize profits if they got you in the middle. If we own the farms, we make the profit. We control the price of it. We don't have to deal with you every once in a while acting like, oh, I need subsidies. I need subsidies because I'm going broke. Fixed problem. Kick you off your property, take it from corporations. Boom, it's a done deal. Now we got stuff going to UK. We're going to make all the profit from it. I don't understand why these people don't think maniacally, because this is how they think. If you really think these billionaires and millionaires got you at their best heart, at their best interest, you're kind of slow. You need to pick it up. You got to look in history and find out, when did they ever give a damn about you? Because this deal shows, nope, don't care about you. America, they don't care about us. How could they? Thank you, DJ, for the gift. I appreciate it. How could they? There's no way they care about you and doing exactly what they just did right now. Could they? I don't see how. I don't see how they could do that. Because if they cared about you, all they have to do is tell you, right away, like, look, we made a deal that we're going to lower the tariffs on this country, on you guys as citizens that you can buy from Japan or China or UK in this situation, right? And we're going to work a deal with them that we can now, like, again, if this deal was going to be for the American people, it would look something like this, based off the UK, not everybody else, but based off the UK. It was zero when he came in for steel and for aluminum. It should have stayed at zero. All right. It already is now, even though he took up to 25 for some weird reason. Back to zero. Done deal. Should have never messed with that to begin with. It was 2.5 for cars, went up to 10%, stays at 10% and goes up. It went up to 10%, then it went up to 27.5%, and then it came back down to 10%. And then after 100,001 goes back up to 27.5%. So if you were going to make a deal in that situation where you're going to make it better for the American person, it was at 2.5% as it were. Keep it at 2.5% and look at something that they won't let you put into their country. If they want to allow you to sell, like they did, beef, if they want to allow you to sell, airplanes, they don't allow you to sell other things, then you expand upon the things in which you can be able to send to that country. But the tariffs in which you had before, the 2.5%, should go back there. Why? Because your American citizens have to pay for that. But if you win by getting additional things that you can send to them and sell, you've opened up a market for American businesses that didn't have this market before, and it increases the market, bringing in money into our country. That is a deal that benefits the American people. What Donald Trump is doing is making a deal to open up the markets for billionaires while at the same time charging more for the American citizen. So the government and Donald Trump and his minions are making money off of both of us, the country and the citizen, and they're taking the cash and saying, oh, look, we got more money. And then they're going to start giving it to themselves with deals. Oh, we want to get back taxes, and you won't get jack out of it. That's how Donald Trump is working. Make no mistake about it. You are not on the top of the list. Hell, you ain't even on the bottom of the list. You're not on the list at all. Americans are not. America and the buying power of America is how they're using this leverage. They're putting us through pain to leverage to get more out of other countries so that those countries will allow them to create markets they didn't have before. And then when it's over, bring it back down. And we're so used to already paying more, which they hope, that we're going to sit here and continue to put into the government pot through taxes more money while they open up markets and more money comes into the government. And as the government leaders get to play with that money and put it whatever they want in their own pockets, give benefits to all the billionaires while we sit here and spend more, make less, and go broke. How the hell is that for the American citizen? Like I told you, we have got to figure out a way to break these billionaires' backs. Being able to get into this market and start buying things that we consistently buy all the time from other countries and charging ourselves and other people in our country way lower than the billionaires will do. We have got to underbid the billionaires to create new millionaires and billionaires who are people-centric, who are for this country and not against this country, and that will become wealthy and do this country right and not wrong. That is the only way that we as an American citizen is going to beat off these millionaires and billionaires that are taking advantage of us every turn we get. You think they're doing you a solid? No. Americans are going to lose their businesses. The citizens, you're going to lose your jobs, and you're going to pay more taxes on stuff in the name of tariffs. And you're going, before we even add it all up, on top of those tariffs will be price gouging from these greedy fucks. So on top of all that, they will price gouge us too. And so a toothbrush will cost upwards of $10 when you could get it for 99 cents from China. They close that down. If that was the case, if they had the same deal as the UK, which they haven't made a deal yet, it's going to cost us an arm and a leg. We got to buy it from America, which is going to cost us just an arm. I don't know about you. I'm tired of being held for ransom. I'm tired of these people using my buying power to make deals to not benefit me, but to fuck me over and say I should be happy that I'm getting fucked over. No, not going to happen. I'm done. Like I said, I buy my own stuff. I'm figuring out a way. I'm getting solutions that help the majority of American people, not billionaires. I at this point, I have disdain for billionaires. If you are a billionaire and you don't give a shit about nobody but yourself, I got disdain for you. Because there's no way in hell that all this shit is going on and you guys are just sitting around saying, wait a minute, there's no loyalty to the people who make me a billionaire. These are the people that make it happen for me. They're buying my Amazon products. They're buying my computer stuff. They're buying the different technologies I create. If they would not buy it, I would not be wealthy. They trust the brand that I got. I've got them to believe that my brand is the best. And because they're buying my brand, I'm able to buy the yachts. But they have no loyalty to us. But they love the fact that we got loyalty to a brand or to people who own brands and don't give a shit about us. That's why I'm buying my shit. I don't care how much it costs. From when we finally break out that tax deal, whatever it may be, I'm getting it from China. Fuck America. I'm doing me. I'm doing me. I'm gonna do what's best for me and mine. If America charging $200 for it, and I can get it from any other of these damn countries, Brazil, and I can get it for $100, yeah, and plus the tariffs, 150, you best believe I'm getting it. There ain't no loyalty for people who decide to fuck me on purpose. Like I told you, I'm good with you until you fuck me over. We ain't cool no more. And when it comes to these American billionaires and millionaires, we ain't cool no more. We ain't cool no more. Fuck your brand, fuck everything. Fuck all of you and your whole family. I'm done with it. Why would I buy from you when you don't do shit for nobody else but yourself? This man just made a deal that's going to cost 4 times more for the American citizen. Some of us are going to be able to afford it. Some of us are going to be on the street because of it. And they don't even care. Without us, they can't be that wealthy. It is our loyalty to a brand or product that keeps them in the clothing, in the homes, in the yachts, in the jets. I'm figuring out a way. I'm out this game. You can count me out. Count me 100% out of that game. I'm figuring it out on my own. And I'm gonna give you let's see if I have that video of Donald Trump, his response to this question. I do. I want you to hear this question that proves this man don't give two shits about American business people or Americans. He does not consider himself one of us. He's up here on this perch, and we don't matter. We're just a bargaining chip.
Business has slowed down, as you mentioned. We're seeing as a result, the ports here in the U.S., the traffic has really slowed, and now thousands of dock workers and truck drivers are worried about their jobs.
That means we lose less money, you know? When I see that, that means we lose less money. Look, China was making over $1 trillion, 1.1 trillion, in my opinion. You know, different numbers from 500 billion to $1 trillion or $1 trillion. I think it was 1.1 trillion.
He just brought up some arbitrary number. China brought in 500 billion, 1.1 trillion. And you know you have these numbers that are 500 billion to 1 trillion to 1.1 trillion. I believe it's 1.1 trillion. There's such thing as definite numbers. The fuck is he talking about? That's a huge difference from half of the amount to twice as much. But I believe it's twice as much. And she asked him about these tariffs. Have the equivalent of what she's saying, these tariffs are killing these small to mid-sized businesses, and these ports are coming in with less products. And you know, and what are we gonna do about that? Because basically, small business people are losing. And they're the ones who 2/3 of the working force is from the small to mid-sized businesses. If they lose, majority of Americans start losing jobs. So his answer was good. I look at it as we're losing money. Now, when you hear that, it doesn't make any sense. But if you hear it from an elitist mentality, it makes a lot of sense. You got to think like an elitist. Like, that person who thinks they're better than somebody else, has good genes when you don't. The good gene people are going to make the decisions. He literally just said that the billionaires are losing money. So it's good that these ports are not coming in and bringing in said products. Because now Americans have to buy from us these high priced products that we make here. But he should understand that a majority of the products coming over here from overseas in China and so forth, America doesn't make. We don't manufacture most of that. Them bringing up toys and Christmas toys, dolls and shit. 80% of all toys, up to 90% in certain areas of all toys come from China. We may design it here and fix it, but China makes the majority of them, over 80%. That's just the dolls. Overseas or different countries produce engines for us, from Mexico to Canada. Canada is our number 2 with automobile like engines and so forth that we get from them. Donald Trump made it seem like we don't really get nothing from Canada. It's like, yeah, you do, fool. What are you talking about? You making no sense. He says whatever he wants to say to make somebody believe he's telling the truth. It has no connection to reality. And people who are connected to reality have to constantly go behind him and pull up his diaper and say, little fella, you're not getting it. Little fella, you don't know what you're talking about. We are your number 2. Number 2, not 12, not 15, number 2. So this, you don't need us, is BS. But they have got to coddle this 78-year-old child who looks like he was born with jaundice and still has it. It's just, it's painful, y'all. It's painful to look at somebody as dumb as this man as the president of your country. It's the reason Donald Trump wants idiots around him, because they make him feel smart. And then he's got sycophants that are out to just make money. Howard Lutnick, Scott Bessent are out to make cash. They are not out to help the American citizen. None whatsoever. They don't know what service means. To bring Americans this UK deal and act like it is something beautiful when it's a turd, it's scary that they will look you in the eye. The American people, millions of people watch this. They lied to millions of people, tried to spit shine a turd and call it chocolate, and looked us in the eye and lied as if it was the truth, made out of whole cloth, a lie. No facts to back up the stuff they're saying. And then on top of that, they bring out little charts talking about 6 billion and 5 billion. We see the chart. 6 billion is higher than 5 billion. But what the fuck does it mean? Didn't even go over the chart. Just threw that bitch up, and we're supposed to sit here. Nobody even paid attention to it. You just saw it when the camera panned over here and the camera panned back. That's when you saw it. Just,
And frankly, if we didn't do business, we would have been better off. Okay, you understand that?
No, we don't.
So when you say it slowed down, that's a good thing, not a bad.
It's not a good thing. If we have, if America produced the products that we are getting from other countries at a competitive price, and for some, in most cases, having a product, period. Even if America has something similar, it's not at a competitive price. Throwing on a tariff if we by far had something that was a competitive price and was here in America, throwing a tariff is like saying, okay, if it cost me $8 in China, I have no problem buying American for $10. I'm good. I can do that. Buy America. Until you realize the American company bought it for China, and they bought like 400,000 of them. Instead of getting it for what you would have got it for one, which was $8, they got it for $1.75. Threw a United States label on that bitch and said something to the effect of assembled in America, charge you $10 for it, and only bought it for $1.75 from China, and you would have got it directly from China for $8 to your door. And that's helping the American. I mean, I'm tired of being robbed. I looked into shit. I am tired of being robbed from people. I ain't trusting no politician with this. I ain't trusting nobody. I figured it out on my own. And I'm literally going to start selling products directly from other countries to the American person without putting no when they got tariffs on anything like that. I'm going to make it so that you get the best deal. I'm underbidding every business I can possibly find, going directly from the other country to this country, underbidding American businesses. I don't care. Be pissed off as you want. I'm tired of fucking people over. You can make a good, honest living with a nice profit. You don't need to be charging people for a $15 product, charging them $400 fucking dollars for it. Oh, greedy ass people. I see that Earthkeeper said the most outrageous thing he said is he doesn't know if he has to uphold the Constitution. Yeah, mind blown on that one too, Earthkeeper. It's just nonsensical. Majority of what this man says makes no sense. And on top of that, you watch. There's a guy on YouTube, and I don't mind giving people love, but I can't remember what it's called. It's like Couch News or Couch Potato News or something like that. A young Latin brother, and he always does like these comment. He does a commentary on like CNN, like Abby Phillip, her show, and these Republicans, a Republican woman and Scott Jennings, trying their best to talk about, well, he said he would uphold the law, he just doesn't know. Shut up, man. This dude said he don't know if he has to uphold the Constitution. He got good lawyers. I'm like, you guys are twisting in pretzels trying to just say the dude doesn't make any sense. And on top of that, one of the things I want to say before I get up out of here, because I don't had enough of this these people throughout the day, but one thing that really gets me about that man is about his people, is that these people will make up some shit for this man. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I am so tired of hearing all these Republicans say what he meant was. Like we can't decipher English in the language. We can't understand context. The man said he doesn't know if he has to abide by the Constitution. That is English, and that's understandable. I don't need a translator for it. But these fools, baby, what he said was, what he meant was, no, what your dumbass brain received was, that's what you should say. What I received was, through my MAGA idiot translation, this is what he meant. And I'm like, I'm not a MAGA idiot, nor will I sit here and put myself in a position of trying to understand stupidity and decipher it. I'm understanding what real English is. You can deal with MAGA onyx all you want. I'm not. None whatsoever. I'm dealing with real English. And English is, and it translates to, this man thinks he's above the law and the Constitution. It doesn't have to do it. His actions show as much. His mouth matched his actions. End of story. They need to stop allowing these idiots to try and contort what we actually see and hear, and we understand the actions matches words. Their words don't match his actions, so why would we listen to them? Crazy. Just crazy. But hopefully what you learned today is you need, if you're going to start your own business, you need to think out a whole new game plan than the way business was done before. I think most Americans are tired of brands robbing them. They're tired of, you're going to have to put it this way. I'm going to tell you right now, the way they're running things, you're going to have to figure out another way to budget your house. Because I don't care how much money you got. I don't care if you got $1 million in the bank. Taking 4 times as much, up to 10 times as much tax over time, that million is going to decrease like a mother. And you're going to have to figure out how to be able to bring these things into this country for yourself for a lower rate. You may have to pay the tariff, but you won't pay that gouging price, because they're going to make you pay the tariff plus some. You have to figure out getting these products in this country for you and your families without having to go through the company in which it's going to or whatever. So if I were, let's say, to buy, an example, a Mini, whatever, Cooper or whatever, and it comes directly from, say, whatever, I would buy it straight from the country in which it's at and have them ship it over. The hell if I'm buying it here. The tariff is one thing. That's going to be just a break even. You're going to have to pay that no matter what. But the price in which you're going to have to pay the Mini Cooper company in America, the dealership, shit, that $27,000 vehicle it may be, when they touch it's going to be $40,000. They're going to charge you the $2,750, whatever it is, for the tariffs. And then on top of that, a bunch more. Buy it directly from wherever it's from, Europe. Get it there. It's going to be cheaper. And then you pay the tariff. That's just $2,700 maybe. Got your vehicle delivered to your crib. You ain't going to no dealer getting charged. It's astronomical. Like I said, I'm going to break the hell out of these people. They ain't taking me no more. They can take you all you want, but they ain't taking me. They ain't holding me hostage no more. I'm figuring out ways, and I'll let you know. My members will know when I get this thing together to be able to discuss how we're going to go about. And I'm building something for it, actually a website for it, a store to be able to buy the products that we need directly from the countries in which we can get the best deal from, and therefore not have to be stuck into this gouging crap. And the best part about it, the way I'm doing it, is that you're not just a buyer, you're a partner. It's not a me thing, it's a we thing. Just visualize every time you buy a product, in the profits part, depending on how much you buy the product, like if it's something small, let's say you're buying like beauty products, or like clippers, nail clippers, all different things of that nature. You're buying that, and you buy that like every so often. You buying that through what I'm talking about. Let's say it costs $7, whatever, in China. Gets here, it's the tariff and all stuff like that. It may be $10, whatever, maybe $12. You find it at like Macy's or whatever store, same product with somebody's name on it. It's $35. They got it here for $7. Well, I'll charge $15, and we split the difference. We both make profit. We're partners. Every time we shop, we're partners in the shopping. That to me is better for the people. And I'm willing to do that because I give a fuck about the me thing. It's the we thing. We need to build a middle class, and we need to build it so that people like us give a damn and therefore create wealth with the shit we buy. I'm tired of buying shit and all I get is a product. And then they take all the profits and run off with it and end up treating us like we're the ones that, oh, you can pay more. No, I'm breaking those people 100%. I'm breaking them. I don't care if you are one of them. I'm sorry, but I'm breaking them because I'm tired of getting the short end of the stick as an American, and these billionaires who are separate from us just having this marionette type of thing and moving us around and shit. I'm like, nah, fuck all that. Get all that. Whatever I can get without a label or with, my brand's label on it, that's all about the people, I'm doing that so that we all win. Every time you shop, we all win. I ain't got time for, losses all the time. And I don't care about being no freaking multi-billion-dollar nothing. I care about everybody, getting things for a good price and taking care of their families and not going broke in the process. So look out for that. I'm working on that. It's a we thing, not a me thing with me. Exactly, Monica, I see that. So that's the way I'm working on it. That's what I'm working toward because I am so sick of how this country has robbed its people in the name of, oh, we're patriots, we're Americans, or this, that, and the third, buy American. And I was all for that buy American thing too until I dug deeper. What Donald Trump has allowed me to do, and basically forced me to do, is see the truth about the country. I was blind in many ways. I had a lot of blind spots. I love America, and I was like, man, this, that, and third, America, America, America. And I don't have any hate or animosity toward any other country. It's just that I was just so proud. But then I realized it's just a slogan, and the people saying it, they just got us saying that shit so that we buy from them, and they gouge the hell out of us. When we are going through a downturn and shit's getting hard for the most of Americans, billionaires could lower their prices and cost of things to help us out. But do they? No. But billionaires want to make more profit. They don't give a damn about us. They throw tariffs and they're taking more money out of our pocket and making everything cost more just so they can get a better deal. So when they get a better deal, they're not even taking the pressure off of us. They're still keeping it on so that they can get more money out of us to get tax cuts so that it goes back into their pockets and they keep on buying yachts and buying back stock. If you don't break out of the cycle, the cycle is going to eat you up. And now that I see it, I'm out of that cycle as much as I can. It's going to take some weaning off. Just like on anything else, you got to wean yourself off of it. And I'm learning little by little how to do it and how to create systems that allow us to take control of our own destinies and stop allowing billionaires to own us. Because whether you like it or not, the billionaires own us. When they can take and treat us any way they feel, we need to replace the billionaires because they're going to always be billionaires. I don't care what anybody says, it's going to always be them. But we need to, as American citizens, pay attention to whom we're making billionaires. If the billionaire does not seem like they give a fuck about the American citizen, you need to stop buying said product. I don't care how much you love it or like it. Because that's the only power you have. Your vote and your dollar. And if you allow your vote to go to somebody who don't care about you and you allow your dollar to go to somebody who don't care about you, then you can't really complain that people aren't caring about you. You're actually funding the people who don't care about you. And I, for one, am done with that. I got to wean myself off. I got to wean myself off completely. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm going to get off here. I appreciate you guys coming, being a part of the Mr. Straight Fact Show. I love the audience. I love, everybody in here. I mean, you guys work your butts off in the room. You love on each other. I don't know what was going on between the two brothers in the room, Troy. And I'm not talking about brothers in race. I don't know if anybody's white or black. I'm talking about brothers in this room. But Troy and Mike, I think it was Woke Mike. Did he leave? Sorry, he left. I don't know what's going on in that situation. I'll have to look at these comments to figure out what's going on. But I'm appreciative of always being here, being a part of the whole group. Nothing but love and positivity, but factual. I tell you, it appears like I'm angry I'm just frustrated and passionate about telling the truth to people. I'm a very protective person from people being lied to, being misled, being suckered, because I don't like it, and I treat everybody else as if you were me. And so when I defend like this, it's you guys know it's not a situation where I just want to be disrespectful, but it's a reality that um, when you lie to me and my people, you're showing a sense of disrespect. And if you fuck with us, it's a must that I fuck with you. That's just how it goes down. But if you love and have a good time and you're positive, you get that back from me. That's always going to be. That's who I am. That's how it's going to be. So I appreciate y'all. I want to thank y'all for coming in to the show. I always put as much as I can. I always leave my heart in here. You know, I let you know what I feel, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm truthful about myself, my positives, my flaws, my dreams, you know, my failures, all that. Because again, we can't learn to grow if we don't learn where we've been, right? And each one of us offering where we've been helps us understand a little bit more about this experience called life and this thing of union, of community, being able to hold each other accountable, lift each other when they're down, you know, tell everybody the truth, and be a part of a community that gives a damn about one another. We don't all have to be from the same culture, same community, and all that. We are a part of the human community, and that human condition is we all want to be loved. We all want to be respected. We all want to have a good job to take care of our families. We all want things for our families to be better than they were for us. And we should be working to make that happen for all people, not trying to hoard it. If we were brought into this world, then there is an abundance for us all to be able to succeed at our level of success. I'm not competing for your level of success as well as you're not competing for my level. And if you are, you'll never reach it because I'll never reach your level. It's not about that. It's about the experience that you create in this world. You go to wherever your level is going to take you. Don't look over the fence and think you got to be there because you ain't going to be there. That was meant for that person. But what you can be is your absolute best. And when you do that and you apply a service to that, it'll take you even further. We're here to serve. It's not all about receiving. It's mostly about giving, and receiving is a byproduct of it. And many of us, you know, we lose that thought process because we compete so much. We were raised to do that. But it's a point of, you know, for me, there's a time when you start to see the world as it really is and not what it's been promoted to be. And you start to see everybody can win. We don't have to be assholes. We don't have to be robbing people. We don't have to be gouging people. We can have great living, just doing right by folks. Healthy profit is fine. It doesn't have to be extraordinary. That's ridiculous. But it is what it is. Those people can continue doing what they're doing. What I'm building here is that we're looking out for one another and we're trying our best to build a situation where we can build wealth amongst ourselves and focus on the people. And by doing so, our economic level rises and also the care. My vision is people who are billionaires, because I know it's not going to stop with billionaires, that care about the people and realize that they couldn't have gotten where they are if it wasn't for the people who put in the blood, sweat, and tears, that sold the product, that built the product. And I may have been the person who invested in it first. So we are all a part of this family. And to be able to say that if I'm here and I can always look at my people, not down at them, but look at them and say, hey, it was you that helped me get here. You know, bonus for everybody. Things of that nature. There are very few, but there are very few examples of billionaires who have done this. That's why I don't have a disdain for all billionaires, but there's some who have done this in their corporations where they've given the stock to their employees and have done right by their employees. It is very few and far between. But if we learn from something like that, I believe the world will be a better place, because then people can have a living wage job and they can be able to go home, hang out with the family, go on vacations, and get to experience this life not always at a cubicle, but many times exploring the world in France and Europe, different places in Europe, rather, Africa, islands, the Caribbeans, all of that, and have a whole spectrum of life and not just the same block you grew up in because you didn't have the finances or the wherewithal to get out. I think we all should have that opportunity, and that's what I'm working for. So anyway, I'm about to let you guys go. You guys have a good evening, and as always, much love to you. Let me see if I got this set up. Let me see. I know some who don't act human, usually billionaires. Yeah. Oh yeah. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you, Troy Scott. Happy Mother's Day to everybody who's a mother or grandmother. Happy Mother's Day to you. And today is Thursday, so I'll see you guys tomorrow, Friday. As always, much love, and I'll see you when I see you.